let's give this Mazda MX5 the loving it deserves before we move it on. So in case you forgot, we need to do a service, a little bit of work on that rear left arch. I have seeked some advice and they said just whack it with some filler, sand it back, spray it over, try your best to blend it, which is what I'm going to try to do. We have got some fiberglass for the roof where it got dropped. There's a couple of cracks, and at the front there is a bit of tape to reduce wind noise because there is a crack. So, but it is still watertight. So we're gonna use some fiberglass on that. I might use fiberglass on the wing, I'm not entirely sure. Service, wing, and then that's it. The brakes feel a little bit weird to me, you know. When you put your foot on the brake, it sort of pulses, but like there's no ABS lights, the discs are new, the pads are new, there's no play in any sort of wheel in the wheels in the front, which we will check again. But first, let's get this on the ramp and then send it up in the air. Right, now we've got the Mazda in the air. The first thing I'm going to do, like we did in the Civic, is we're going to jet wash everywhere underneath it, in the wheel arches, and get it nice and clean. Because as you know, with these cars, they love rust. So if I give it a really good clean, take a lot of photos before I put the underseal on it, the next owner can say to me, look, what's the condition of the bodies like? And I can go, look, I've got a photo of each wheel arch before the underseal, and here is what it looks like, and it'll give faith to the next person, and it'll make me feel better because I know that I'm doing a proper job through and through. So let's start by getting all four wheels off. Right, now we have all four wheels off. These wheel arches are not looking bad whatsoever. We got a little bit down here, but I think we're catching that at the right time before it goes bad. Let's go have a look at the front. Again, not bad. The spring's a little bit rusty, but it will be coming with coilover, so no problem. These arms are solid despite not looking very good. Lots. Obviously I know that there is a spot for it to go weak, but look at these discs, basically new. They're either, well, the pads aren't the newest, so probably could do with a new set of pads on there, which I can sort out if I need to. Coming around to the other front wheel arch, exactly the same. I don't know why these were advised, they are so solid, but no rust on the chassis legs, which is amazing. A little bit there, but that's just that protective paint coming off. Solid. And then same goes for the back, nice and solid. Again, a little bit there that we have caught nice and early. It's all still magnetic, which is great. Again, them lower arms, which don't need doing, but the tester obviously didn't like this guy. So all I'm going to do now is in each of these wheel arches get some TFR, which is just really strong cleaning stuff, spray it in, let it dwell for 10 minutes, then I'm going to jet wash it straight out, back out again, and then we're going to send it up, and we're going to do that for the whole underbody of the car, ready so we can grind back where we need to, and then underseal it. So I've got my words for a second there. And then we can underseal it and then go from there. We will have a nice undersealed protected car, which is great. If you are enjoying me swapping, trading, buying and selling my way through these cars, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I know at the moment it's just quite light works, really, nothing really too intensive, but I am enjoying this and it's good fun having all these cars, driving these different cars, and you know, just seeing where it goes really. I know we're sort of not going up or down in value, but we will start rising more and more. But don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for me so you can always stay up to date with where we are. And now we've done the arches we're going to give the bottom just a quick spray over with the TFR that I've got in that pump bottle, and then a jet wash off, and then we can let it drip dry while we do our service, and then get ready to put a lick of under seal paint on it. I've got 3 cans. I don't know if that's going to be enough. I'm hoping 1 can will do all the wheel arches, and then like 2 cans will do the belly. To be fair, a lot of it's already got under sealed on, so we got to remember that. We only need to wire brush a little bit and then under seal a little bit. So let's get to spraying down the underneath. So the whole purpose of me doing this is the TFR just attacks all the dirt and all the grime that's been underneath the car. Obviously we know these cars are prone for rusting, so any built up bits of mud or anything like that is definitely not going to help the sills or the wheel arches. So we're going to give them a clear out, and then once we've done this we can let it dry, put some under seal on it, and just give that little bit of protection to try and prevent any rust from coming through. Obviously to completely do it you need to sand it all completely back to nice clean and new metal, and then under seal it, but that would quite literally take days to sort, so we're just doing what we can. So as you just saw, we just pressure washed underneath the vehicle. Do you know what, having an outdoor ramp sometimes is very, very helpful. Obviously when it's cold it's not great, but when it comes to things like this, very, very helpful. Don't need to worry about it, it goes on the floor and then drains out as it should. But now let's change this oil. So coming underneath the vehicle, we're literally just taking the sump plug out, 19mm bolt, not over tightening, which is great, and then we can get all the oil into this oil pan, hopefully without making a mess.
Through the night and morning, when the rain is pouring, you're the one I'm calling.
And now we're back up into the engine bay. What we're going to be doing is the spark plugs. So first we're taking out all of the ignition leads, or if you're working on a newer car they'd be coil packs, and then we can work on getting the spark plugs out and have a look at what condition they're really in.
Only one that I'd be holding. When you're loving me, it goes like
So as you can see here, I'm just getting the first spark plug out and bringing it up to the camera, struggling to get it to focus, but it's actually not in the greatest condition. Very black. It's got a nice white burn on the tip, but that gap in between the plug and the hook on the end of the spark plug where the spark connects, obviously, it's not as good as the new one as I just showed you on that screen. I don't know if you had time to see that, but it's definitely well overdue a spark plug change.
just looking for. Show them all we got it. Never look back, never let go. I don't need to look no further. You are the one, I'm certain. Only one that I'd be holding. When you're loving me, it goes like look no further, look no further. Look no further, it goes like look no further, look no further. Look no further, it goes like I believe that we are more. All the world is looking for. Show them all we got it.
So now all the old ones are out, it's time to get the new ones in reverse order, and we are actually just talking all these down. Can't remember the exact torque spec off the top of my head, but nothing a quick Google doesn't sort out. Once we've got all these torqued down, we can move on to the next step. And here at the end, I'll just give you a little insight into what these spark plugs really look like. Not in great condition whatsoever. Definitely overdue that change. And then back underneath the car we go to put in this drain plug, where I make it look extremely difficult just because I definitely don't want to cross-thread this in. So obviously I'll just being extra careful, making sure not cross-threading it, and just getting it down tight enough to crush the new washer in, and then getting some brake cleaner just to get rid of any old oil residue that may come out. when taking the drain plug out. So, just so you know that I've done it, down here is where the oil filter is situated, right down there. It's very hard to see, you can just get a glimmer of it there. I have put a new one on, but it was always impossible to film. I've done it from at the top, I've stuffed a load of rags underneath it, and then that's how that was changed. New spark plugs in, we're waiting on the leads. Let's get cracking on with something else. Okay, so right now you're going to experience me trying to take a roof off an MX5. I've never done this before. I don't understand. I know there is a clip here, and then right, I've got one bit. Unlock. Right. Do I need to do anything here? Does that bit? I don't think so. Alright, let's go down to the other side. This is probably way easier than I'm ever going to make it look. Oh, okay, right, I haven't unlocked that other side properly. Not a chance. Right, so I've still got one bit that's not, it's not in, or out, sorry. It's not out. And down. That up. Why is that not popping out? Oh, it's not in anyway. I don't know how there's tape on here. He said that tape was pure, oh my god, purely to avoid wind noise. How do I get it out of there? Anybody who has an MX5 is absolutely clowning me right now. Because I don't get it. I don't want to drop it either. It's actually fairly heavy for what it is. Right. I might seriously have to Google how to, oh. Right. Okay, I can't understand how this guy dropped this, you know. This is stupidly difficult. I feel like this isn't a one-person job either. Oh, the paint. Oh my god, the paint. Right. Wow, that's heavy. That's very heavy. Oh my god. It looks like such a different car without the hard top on it. It's unbelievable. Has got the soft top here. But yeah, there's a couple of rips in that. Standard. It looks so different without a thing on it. It's unbelievable. Let's have a look around this, get all the tape off it, and see how bad it really is. Right, so this guy's actually made my life a lot more difficult by putting that tape on it. He said he put tape on it because there's some wind noise, but now when I've peeled the tape off it, it's peeled all the paint. It is just a fiberglass hood, which is weird but good. I'm putting fiberglass, but there's no cracks there, which is great. Around here, a little bit of a crack. So we'll probably put a thin layer of fiberglass over that, just to stop anything out of the ordinary. There's a small amount of cracks here, which I'm probably going to put some fiberglass over it just to reinforce it a little bit. And then I did see one more bit of tape. Around here is fine. I'm going to just paint it black again. Ah, there's the tape. So one more bit of tape, which is covering. Okay, this guy was crazy about tape. Get some tar and glue remover on all this, and then tape up all around here, and then get the fiberglass out. So I've spent a little while with some tar and glue remover. That's what we're left with. So we need to do a long line of fiberglass filler along here and here. Look. Just try to shape that in nicely. Sand this back. Probably put a layer over this as well to reinforce that a little bit, and then we'll give it a lick of black paint and hopefully it'll look as good as new.
So here, basically, I'm just starting to give the roof a little bit of a sand down. I can't remember what grit sandpaper I have. I think it was like 400 or 800 grit sandpaper, so not like the most aggressive sandpaper in the world, which I'll sort of regret later. I wish I started with a bit more of an aggressive sandpaper and then work my way down. But basically, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to painting, and I'm just giving it a go because why not? If it was a much more expensive car, 10, 15, 20,000 pound car, then I certainly wouldn't be doing it myself. But on a car that's really only sort of worth £5 max in pristine condition, I'm not too bothered. So let's just give it a go and see if we can salvage this roof. So as you can see, as a result from my light sand, we've just got a scuffed up roof. We've still got all of these marks in, which I do need to address, which I will address, but just showing you. And here is the filler in question. Didn't really know what to get, and this just made sense, so I thought I'd get this one. So what you can see me doing here is that bit of metal was, I did clean it first, but I didn't have painters and automotive paint people have something called an onion pad, which is sort of stiff and you can tear it off and use it as a base. So what I've done is I've taken a lump of this filler and then I've put a bead of hardener across the middle, mixed it together. The hardener sort of activates it, I guess, makes the fiberglass set quicker. This stuff literally sets in like 10-15 minutes. It's crazy. And you can just see me trying to put a nice thin-ish layer across the front or anywhere that is affected or needs strengthening, and then we'll deal with the aftermath later. Again, I just want to stress, I'm not a painter, I'm not a body shop, I'm just purely giving this a go just because I want to try and learn it. So if you have any advice for me doing this again in the future, please feel free to let me know in the comments.
Any body shop professionals are probably screaming right now, but we have a layer of fiberglass across the front and on that corner, ready to go. I should probably put some right down there, but let's let that dry, then we can sand it flat. In the meantime, I need to go get some paint.
So here you can watch me trying to prep this rear quarter for a bit of paint. I'm starting just by giving everywhere a bit of a light sand, and then I'm going to use some filler to fill again. But I'll show you that in a minute. So once again, I'm back with the filler. This is just what was at my local body shop, and then I'm just getting a bit of filler, putting it on this bit of cardboard, and then again with the hardener, a little bit across it, mix it in, and then I'll be ready to put that on the panel. I'm not using too much. It looks a lot deeper than it is. It's probably like 1 or 2 mil thick. So I thought it'd be safe to use filler. I was speaking to some people, they said it would be as well. But you never know unless you try. So I'm giving it a go, and then I'm going to fill that void in the rear arch up with some filler. And then once I've done that, I can then go ahead and fill the engine back up with oil as it was delivered with the leads. I think it took like 3.8 litres or 4.2 litres, one of the two, but we're back full of oil, recommended spec. Back round to the front of the car now where we're working on the hardtop, and I've started sanding away at this fiberglass which is already dried solid just while doing those leads and filling up the oil. And this is where I said about the sandpaper not being gritty enough, and this took forever, and to be honest I didn't really get the desired outcome. It wasn't the smoothest, it wasn't the best, but it was considerably better I think than it was before, and it can always be rectified later and resprayed, which if I need to do it for the sale then I will do, but ultimately it's better than all the dips and all the chips that we had in the top of this hardtop. So guys, I have done primer. Just remember, I'm not a body shop. I am just trying my best just to learn. And if the car comes out absolutely crap, then I will just pay for them to get it. Hardtop, not too... Oh my God. Hardtop, not too bothered about. Somebody else can redo that if they really want to. That isn't as important as the actual car itself. So let's wait for that primer to dry, give it another 1200 grit sand, get it completely smooth, and then we'll hit it with some paint. In the meantime, I'm going to put the headlight uppy downy cover thing back on, and then yeah, let's go from there. So for now we're just waiting for things to dry. So I've got gloss black, and this has lacquer built in. That's for that. So all we're going to do for this, right, I'm going to swap hands, shake it up. Obviously this is not the most ideal environment to be painting in, but we work with what we got. There's the Golf, and spray it, and then all we're going to do is a coat like that, just a light dusting all over, just for a first coat. Obviously on the first coat you never get everything from what I'm told, so we're just going to go over like that. My Golf's probably going to have a load of black overspray on it. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. We've got to try and keep the can as upright as possible, or else we risk getting drips everywhere. So I'm going to come around to the other side. Obviously I have cleaned everything off from when we were sanding. And this, I'm hoping, won't turn out half bad. And then all the way down on the bottom. Obviously I've masked up the rear windows. I've just realised I forgot to mask up the door seals, but there's worse things. And that is just one layer, and we want to try and keep it nice and even as possible. All the way across, everywhere, even this front bit here. This obviously isn't going to be absolutely perfect, but it's going to be better than it was. And while that is drying, we can come back over here. See, it's looking pretty good, I can't lie.
Not perfect, but fairly good. Look at it from down there. It does not look half bad. So we have now got 1200 grit, which is mega fine, and literally gonna go smooth over it before we do our first layer of paint. So just go up to it as flat as possible and just back and forth, making a smooth surface. We have just sanded that light sand 1200 grit, and now we're going to clean it and give it a first paint of silver and then let it cure. Just remember, I am not a body shop. I am just a person trying their best and enjoying learning new things. I know it's not ideal. I'm not in the most ideal environment. I've not got the best paint. Actually, the paint's good. I've not got the best equipment, but can't knock somebody for trying. So let's carry on giving it a go. Let's give that another layer. Let's get on with it. My camera's died. My SD card's full. So I'm now resorting to filming on my phone. So it's not ideal, but I want all of this done today so I can get this up for sale ASAP. This is layer one. You can see we've got a bit of a high spot here, but ultimately, I'm not that mad about it, to be honest. Is it perfect? No. Was it ever going to be perfect? No. It's not being funny. It's my first time ever doing this, really. I've never messed with paint before, ever. So let's get another layer onto it. We're going to do 3 coats and then we'll primer it. And here's how it looks after 3 coats. So now, you can go ahead with this 2K clear. But what I might do first is get a little bit of sandpaper. Just give that a bit of a rub down. Because that's dry now, I think. Just give that a slight rub down. Okay, that's not dry. I'll just put a paw print in it. So yeah, slight rub down and respray. So I have just put the last layer of lacquer on here, and to be fair, it's not actually looking too bad. Obviously not most ideal environment, so we have got some specks of just the surroundings, but ultimately not that bad. Underseal done, just need to do inside this wheel arch, and then let's get some photos of it. So that is it, guys. We got it running. And let me show you right now. I'll show you the paint. The match is very good. Obviously there is a hard line from where I masked. I was told by the people at the body shops that you should let the paint cure for a couple of days and then you can blend it in with polishing it. So that's that. Bear that in mind. I'm going to go park it somewhere and then I'm going to show you some cool little shots of it. We're going to take some photos of it and then we're going to get listed up for sale.